Do you remember what I said about Click's class? About me being jealous and, obsessed?
Yeah.
It isn't because I had a crush on you. It's because she wouldn't stop staring at you.
Mrs. Click?
Tammy Thompson. I wanted her to look at me. But she couldn't pull her eyes away from you and your stupid hair. And I didn't understand because you would get bagel crumbs all over the floor. And you asked dumb questions, and you were a douchebag. And you didn't even like her, and I would go home and just scream into my pillow.
Tammy Thompson's a girl.
Steve.
Yeah? Oh.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Holy shit. Steve, did you OD over there?
No, just thinking.
Okay.
I mean, yeah. Tammy Thompson, she's cute and all, but I mean, she's a total dud.
Stranger Things, the greatest show alive. All we can do is wait for season 5. I thought in the meantime that it might be fun to read every comic and book in what I call the Stranger Danger Book Club. Stranger Danger Book Club. Book Club. Stranger Danger Book Club.
Greetings, stranger friends, and welcome back to the Stranger Danger Book Club. Yes, it's been a long time since you last heard from me. In fact, I'm going to look it up on the World Wide Web, and I believe the last time that I spoke to you was all the way back in... Could it really have been April? April. Oh my goodness gracious. I think I talked about I just got back from a vacation, or maybe I just took my mother-in-law back from Florida. I don't know. A lot of stuff happening. And then May happened, and since then my wife had back surgery. She's doing okay, but I'll use that as an excuse for not putting up any Stranger Danger since then. I was being a good husband, always helping her and being there for her whenever she needs it. Is she nodding? She's in the other room. I think she's nodding. She gave me the thumbs up. Yes, I did a good job as being a husband. Okay, look. If you go to fansnotexperts.com, the website, you'll see, Mike, you did a ton of other podcasts during all that time. Okay, yeah, maybe I did. But I'm here now, right? And that's the important thing. And I want to apologize for taking so long to get back into the swing of things. But I promise you there will be more of me here on the podcast, in your ears, in your iPod, in your phone. iPod, what year is this? You know what I mean. There'll be more episodes of Stranger Danger. This I can promise you. But today I wanted to get back into the book club. I took a break from the Ninja Turtles. We'll get back to the Ninja Turtle stuff. There's always time for that. But I wanted to get back to the Tales from Hawkins. You know, I think I did that at the beginning of the year. It's been way too long. But today I wanted to talk about issue 3 of this 4-issue series. And there's other comics to talk about. And I'm excited that we will be getting another novel. Coming towards the end of October, we're getting Stranger Things, The Dustin Experiment from J.L. D'Amato. Or maybe it's J.L. D'Amato. D'Amato. But it says here in the description, this is on the Penguin Random House website, so it's official, even though there's no book cover for it yet. This is officially happening. It says it's fall 1985, and Dustin Henderson is starting his freshman year at Hawkins High School. So wait a minute. Fall of 85. This is right before Stranger Things 4. It says after the tragedy at the Starcourt Mall, he's ready for life to return to normal. But things feel different. Some friends have moved away. Others are still in town but growing distant. Dustin thinks entering a science competition will make everything like it used to be. But will Lucas and Mike join him? Or will he have to rely on a charismatic metalhead named Eddie? So we're going to get the introduction of how Eddie and Dustin became friends. It says, join Dustin on a road trip, filled with inventions, heavy metal, and a new understanding of his place in Hawkins. Inventions and heavy metal, sign me up. Sprinkled with references to your favorite Stranger Things characters, this novel chronicles the events between seasons 3 and 4 of Netflix's iconic series. I am very excited. It says here, published by Random House Books for young readers. Well, I'm young enough to read it, and it's the end of October, so I'm wondering, will I be driving my mother-in-law back to Florida? If so, I have my book. I have my book ready to go, because I'll be like, okay, we made it. Let's stop at this hotel. All right, I'm going to go off and read at a Dunkin' Donuts. I'll be back in 6 hours. And then I'll go read some Stranger Things, The Dustin Experiment. So we have more comics. We have another book. I've been waiting for another book. The last one was the Eddie Munson book, which I enjoyed, but I didn't like Eddie doing, being a criminal. But I still enjoyed it because it's Stranger Things. So I'm excited to see a good Eddie hanging out with one of our favorites in Dustin. And look, besides these books, I mean, the real thing, the real reason that we're here is because of the show, because of Stranger Things, the show. And, we still haven't gotten a trailer. But what was it, 11 days ago, based on YouTube, they posted a behind the scenes of Stranger Things 5 on the set of the final season. You've all watched it, so I'm not breaking any news there. But what's crazy is that it said we're officially halfway through filming the 5th and final season. Halfway through. That means, I know how halves work. That means they have another whole half to do, which just means we're going to be waiting for so long, but it will be worth it. It will be epic, and it just looks epic in these scenes that we're seeing. We see, I'm just brushing through the video right now. You've all watched it. We see the Duffers. We see they're halfway through season 5. We see Hawkins High. We see our 4 heroes. We see that Lucas still has a flat top. Wait a minute. Our 4 heroes together. So it's good. Actually, when we think about the end of last season, that house in California was kaput's. So it makes sense that Will's back, that they're all just back in Hawkins again. It's like, look, it's safer. Obviously, California, felt safe for a little while until it wasn't. But Hawkins, for all its, troubles and some drama, probably safest to be together because you're going to have to fight some evil. And, it's better to fight together than to fight alone. Isn't that the saying? That doesn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. So it's cool to see them in the high school together. Dustin's hair is getting long, but I do like that he's still wearing a Hellfire Club shirt. It's all behind the scenes stuff. Dustin also looks like someone beat the crap out of him. Where I don't know where we are in this second shot, but there's a Pink Floyd, The Wall on the poster on the wall. It almost looks like, are they supposed to be in a base? Are they in Murray's house here? I wonder. But we get a hallway of the school, and we get all these vines and whatever they call them, the tentacles of the upside down. But these are all looking pretty practical. You think a lot of the stuff might be digital effects, but it looks pretty practical to me. It's weird seeing like rooms and houses just built on a soundstage in the middle of a soundstage, and you realize, oh, they're not real at all. It's cool, but it's also like, oh, it's like realizing just how much magic goes into making these shows. We see Millie Bobby Brown talking about how she was 10 years old when the show first started, and now she's 20, and she's excited for season 5. We see Max. I can't think of the actress's name right now, but we see her in the wardrobe outfit. In the wardrobe, we see Will. I'm just going to go by the characters' names. We see, wow, they have a ton. I would love to go through this prop department. They have a ton of 80s bicycles with old banana seats and bread seats, and these are the seats that I used to sit on when I was in a bicycle gang. I was in a bicycle gang when I was a kid. We kind of, we ruled the town. We raised a little hell. It's all a lie. I wasn't in a bicycle gang, but I would ride bikes with friends, so maybe we kind of felt like we were in a bit of a gang. It's interesting to see. Wow. Nancy Wheeler has blonde hair, so that's different. Still getting used to Lucas's flat top. Everyone looks kind of the same, but a little older. Okay, there's the actor who played Vecna, so we know he's back. I think we see him dressed up as Vecna. We get new faces. Wait, that's the Wheeler's mom. I know her. We see them in high school, Tiger Pride, all this. Like, it's like a warm homecoming, but we also know that everyone's a little older, and it's kind of towards the end. It's like they're near their quote-unquote graduation out of Stranger Things. We get Linda Hamilton. This is where we start seeing, oh, there are other characters. Now, look, there's Erica, but Linda Hamilton from Terminator, from Terminator 2, from the other Terminators, Beauty and the Beast, and some other Terminators. Oh, my God. We get to see the core 4, what Finn Wolfhard. I'm sure I got that wrong. I'm just going through this really quickly because it's like all it does is get me excited and get me sad for what's coming. And we see new characters. Now, I believe this is just the Wheeler's youngest daughter, but maybe she has friends now. Erica has some new kid who's got glasses and an amazing striped sweater. It is just wild. Oh, wait. Now we see Nancy Wheeler with brunette hair. So I'm guessing she's a blonde and this is a wig. There you go. That's how movie making works. I got to remember that. We get one shot of Hopper, who's holding a rifle. He's got an amazing beard. And is he sitting outside one of the cabins? Oh, my goodness. Oh, there's Sean Levy, who is big in the news right now because he directed Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, oh, my God. You've all watched it. I couldn't ignore it. I had to say it. I'm very excited. But, again, they're only halfway there. And we're the ones here living on a prayer, Take my heart. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, boy, we're living on a prayer. Yeah, halfway there. But listen, in the meantime, I want to get back to regularly talking about Stranger Things, making podcasts for you, and hearing from you as well. Now, a while ago, I got a voicemail, and it's been a while since I never even listened to it. This is another voicemail from our friend Blue Ivory. I haven't heard this at all. He sent this over 2 months ago in May, and I'm finally listening to it now. Now listen, you can send voicemail about the show, about Stranger Things, whatever you want to talk about. Go to strangerdangerpodcast.com/hotline, or just go to strangerdangerpodcast.com. You'll see a link there. There's no phone call. There's no app you need. You press a button, you record directly into it. It sends me the message, and I play it on the show, just like this one.
It's been a while since I've submitted a voicemail for the lovely people at Stranger Danger, Stranger Things podcast. But if you don't remember me, it's me, Blue Ivory. Lots happened since last we spoke. In fact, yesterday, the 9th of May, 2024, I had my first live performance. I'm not going to lie, I was extremely nervous before going on. But, yeah, I eventually got through it and smashed it to bits. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the episodes you're releasing lately, especially your last episode, which is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I thought that was a weird concept for a comic, but also I thought it was a good idea, if you know what I mean. So this was a really good episode. I really enjoyed it, and I can't wait for more in the future. I'm still waiting for people of Stranger Things, though. What's up with that? Like, come on. No, I'm joking. Take your time, and when it's ready, tell us about it. I want to know what other projects you've got going on the Stranger Danger podcast that you've perhaps not told us yet. So, yeah. By the way, this is Blue Ivory signing off now. Thank you for doing this podcast, as always. See you next time.
Blue, you're my boy, Blue. Yeah, he sent that on May 10th, which was, I think, was 4 days after my wife had her back surgery. So I had not looked at that. I started in my Gmail. I said, Mike, you will get to this next time you do an episode. It only took me 2 months, but here I am. First live performance. That is awesome. Congratulations on that. I hope there's been others since then, or I hope you want to continue to do others, whether you've done it yet or not. Very cool. And also, yeah, the Ninja Turtles comic, definitely weird, but I love weird concepts that are good ideas. And the people of Stranger Things I looked at like this image that I made, and I made this little logo like 2 years ago, and I said, oh my God, I keep talking about the people of Stranger Things, and I never get there. But it is a good idea, and I still want to do it. I haven't given up hope yet. But you also mentioned like other future projects, like what else I could be working on with the podcast. And I guess I'll just say keep listening to this episode. All right? All right. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for the voicemail. You guys can always send in a voicemail, strangerdangerpodcast.com to do that. And I think 95% of the time it's going to be played on the show. So thank you again, Blue. And without any further ado, let's get to Stranger Things, the comic, Tales from Hawkins number 3.
You're so close, but still what I'm dying to say is that I'm crazy for you.
All right, let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into it. Stranger Things, Tales from Hawkins number 3 from Dark Horse Comics. Right on the cover here, we can tell right away that this is a Robin Buckley centered story, a Robin centric story. It looks like she's in a classroom. So there's a picture of, it's actually a really nice painting where I think she's in a classroom, just because there's well, I'm not sure where she is, but in the background there is a frame, but you only see part of the frame. There's a couple other things. There's like a painting of a sunflower, a painting of a cat, with someone's name signed to it. I can't quite make out what the name is, but on the right side there seems to be or maybe it's what do they call those things? A cork board, a board where you can put pins in. I can't think of it, but there's definitely a poster of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. You only see part of him, but I can definitely recognize him, and I didn't notice that until just now. She's holding what looks almost like a script or a report or something, and she is also holding a rose, a flower in her hand. Let's jump into this. It says, Tales from Hawkins, Chapter 3, Robin Buckley is always trying to mask her true self in the rural town of Hawkins as she coasts through days packed full of boring classes and band practice. That all changes when a love-struck Robin can't help but take on the role of director for a school project in an effort to get her crush Tammy's attention. So it looks like that was a script she's holding. And of course, we're getting Tammy again. Now that name rings, it makes my heart aflutter because I've been married to a Tammy for many years. That is my lovely wife. So Tale from Hawkins, Chapter 3, script by Jody Hauser, art by Georgia Giosposito, Georgia, colors by Dan Jackson, and letters by Net Picos or Picos. I always say I never quite get the name. I don't know if I'm saying it right, Picos or Picos. I only see one cover, which is the cover I just described, but I guess there are 4 different variants for covers. The one I think I saw is from Mark Appensall. There's also Kayla Valerio, Liana Kangas, and Elisa Rombolo. This was published. Okay, here's the crazy thing. This was published almost a year ago, and I'm finally getting to it now. Shame on you, Michael. Shame on you. Okay, let's jump right into it. So we are brought in right away. If I didn't know that they're working on some sort of production, I think this first page would have been a little scarier. But it shows a girl running through the woods. I don't know if we know it yet, but it's Tammy. She's running through the woods. It says, so many people love to lose themselves in a good horror story. Cowering in your seat in the dark, shouting advice that won't be heard or heeded, watching the bloodshed from between your fingers. And while these are text box, like thought bubbles or whatever they're called, while those are I'm reading those, someone's yelling, help me, somebody. And then in the third panel, we see it's a young woman. And after the bodies pile up and the last strains of music fade out, she yells, anybody. You step back into the sunlight and continue on your life untouched. Basically you see all this horror in the world, then you go out, the movie's over, and you go enjoy life. Whatever trials you may face, they pale in comparison to what you just watched, right? And help me. And then in the background, you see someone say or think, wow. And of course, we know right away that is our hero, Robin. We jump to the very next page and it says, after all, those monsters at least aren't real. And Tammy hits a rock and goes, crap. She falls down, but I wonder if that was part of the plan. She turned around and said, was that okay? You can get rid of that part at the end, right? Oh, okay, so that was a mistake. Now we see Robin go, oh, yeah, of course, yes, you were amazing. Oh, sorry, cut. And on the very next page, the very next panel we see is this full film crew. Someone with a camera, someone with a photo camera at the same time. 2 guys with reflector, I don't know what they're called, light boards, bounce boards. One with the boom stick for the mic. They don't have any actual lighting, but they're trying to use the sun the best they can. So this is a little film crew, and Robin's like, okay, everyone, go back to where you started the scene, I guess. And there's this one kid who I think, based on the story I just read and I'm reading to you now, this kid I think wants to be the director, or wanted to be the director the whole time, but okay. He says it's called resetting Robin, and you got to be quicker on the cuts. The school only gave us so much film. So they're shooting a film for school, and It's on film. This isn't video. This is film. And I don't know if I've told you this before. Side story. I started out doing film in college. I switched over to computers. That's not the major, computers, but I went over to interactive and web design. And but when I first did film, my wife's uncle let me borrow his old film camera to shoot some stuff on, and I bought the Super 8. It was this like cartridge of film. You put it in the camera. I shot the film, and then I was like, all right, now what? Do I stick it in the camera? Do I stick it on the projector? I didn't know that the film had to be. I was so like green. I didn't know that the film had to then go be processed, had to be developed, and then you get a reel of film. So it's not like I came from the camcorder, shoot it, rewind, let's start again, shoot it. Nowadays you can shoot everything on your phone and edit it professionally right on your phone. But back then, you had only so much film you got to work with, and the school, I guess, only gave them so much. And this kid's like, the school, we got to be quicker with the cuts. And Robin says, got it. Still getting a handle on this. I'm really more used to being on the other side of the camera, And this kid, I don't even know if we get his name, but he says, maybe if I tell them my grade depends on it, my parents will pony up for some more film. She's like, yeah, that's a great idea. And then she's thinking to herself, what have I gotten myself into? The next page is, there's like a big panel kind of showing different images of Robin. Robin has worn many faces over the years: band geek, rebel, film buff, and now reluctant director. The rebel, I think, is a reference to Rebel Robin, the novel. Remember, she went to a dance, and I think this outfit is basically the outfit she wore to the dance. I'm almost positive. The film buff outfit, I don't quite recognize. I don't know if I'm supposed to recognize it. And the reluctant director looks like Robin dressed, like normal casual clothes. But the reality was Robin's true face was one she had yet to show to the larger world. She yells, there's another take going on. She yells, cut, that's even better, Tammy. And Tammy's like, really? And deep down, she was scared of what others would see. We're getting a bit of a flashback, or maybe it's just her in class that, around this time. But this is before the world of Stranger Things 3. This is before, this kind of, I feel like this leads actually right up into it. Shows her in class, and she's kind of just looking at Tammy. And the previous panel said deep down she was scared of what others would see. On this page, it says what the stories would be when she wasn't the one writing them. Right now, she wasn't really a part of the narrative, despite the spotlight being so very close. She is staring at Tammy, and Tammy is staring at Steve Harrington. And you can see her like gripping her book, and she's thinking, what did she see in him? And it shows Steve just like eating a sandwich, looking like a real like goofball. Remember, when we first met Steve, we didn't really like him. He had his moment. He had some heroic moments. But at first, it was almost like we weren't supposed to really like him. And now we love him. And he's, we show him in this just being kind of this aloof goofball. And he's eating a sandwich. He's talking with his mouth full. You can't even understand what he's saying. It says, "Fo wa he hi hey." That's literally what it says. And she's like, ew. And then he's burping, and she's like, ew. And then he says, but if the war was over the roses, why don't they just, why don't the ones of the sides just, pick another flower? So he really thinks the War of the Roses was over flowers. Don't ask me what it was over, because I don't know. I thought the War of the Roses was a movie with Danny DeVito and Michael Douglas, but apparently it was something before that. And Robin is probably like most of you right now. She's going, seriously? Now we're back with the film crew, and it seems like we jump back and forth between the film going on and some, thoughts that Robin has maybe in the past. But she is, I think she's directing another actor. She's like, you're doing great, Chris. Maybe another foot or two. And, the boom guy, maybe move him in. He's like, uh-huh. And now Tammy wants to talk to Robin. Said, hey, Robin, can I ask you something real quick? She's like, sure, anything. I mean, shoot. Like, almost like she was afraid she sounded too eager. Tammy says, so I know this is just like a class thing, but this is still my first role, and I really wanted to nail it. Could you maybe give me some insight into like the deeper meaning of the character to help me out with the film? I mean, you were so excited about it in class. I figured you had all these deep ideas and stuff. And Robin's like, And of course, the film in question wasn't the only bit of fiction at play. So now we're getting a little flashback in the classroom. And one of the kid was holding the camera, who I think probably wanted to be the director. He says, so a one character short. Does anyone have any ideas for a script? And nobody does anything. And finally, Tammy says, I mean, I have some acting experience. And the kid says, okay, that's a start. She says, maybe something that will really, I don't know, like have a lot of range, a lot of emotion. Maybe something like those girls in horror movies who have to be all scared and stuff. And that seemed, Robin was all of a sudden paying attention. Now she's like, I actually had this idea for a horror movie that I think could be, we could do. It could be really edgy and modern, and we could shoot the whole thing in the woods. Of course, there was no idea, merely an opportunity. She just wants to work with Robin, obviously. A harmless little lie. After all, no one else had wanted the job. So the kid's like, what do you want to direct now too? So that made me think he wanted it. The way he said that makes me think he wanted to direct. And Robin's like, I mean, I guess I could. But she's thinking, I mean, how hard could it be? Back in the woods, it says Robin had assumed she'd find her idea eventually. So she says, I have an idea. But now she's like, oh, God, I have to figure out this idea. So she's talking to Tammy and she says, I mean, there are so many inspirations and ideas we're playing with here. She's like, yes, of course. But like, what is it really about? What she hadn't expected was for anyone else to care what it was. And Robin says, it's about fear and about being afraid. Tammy says, yeah, I totally see that. But afraid of what exactly? Everything, Robin says. There's so much in the world to be afraid of, right? Tammy's like, I guess. And Robin says, I'm sure we can drill deeper into this as we get closer to the ending. And Tammy's like, I really wish you'd let us see the end of the script. I think there's a reason that they're not seeing the end of the script. But Robin tells her, I just think it's more natural if you don't know how the horror movie ends. And now we see Robin in her bedroom writing on a piece of paper. And it says, of course, it was hard to have a script when Robin still wasn't sure what the story really was. Each day she'd fight to get a bit further, building the plane as she flew it. She just hoped it wouldn't crash. It wouldn't be a crash landing. And shows her ripping up drafts. Oh, no, this is derivative crap. And throwing it. And there are ripped up and balled up pieces of paper all over the floor. So she's gone through a lot of drafts, having a lot of trouble. And she's like, I have to have something for them to shoot tomorrow. So back in the classroom, she's sitting there. I think she's watching Tammy. And this kid walks by, and Harrington's just kind of chilling in a chair, doesn't even realize it, stretches out with a big yawn. This kid trips, falls, and at least Steve's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he apologizes to the kid. Tammy comes over and says, your poor foot, are you okay? Like, she's worried about Steve. Steve just tripped this kid. He went flying, and she's worried about Steve's foot. And he's like, yeah, I'll manage. And Robin looks and is like, he is such a douchebag. He doesn't even see you, but I do. And she's just looking at Tammy. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. And this is all in her head. And now we see kind of the fear of what Tammy might say, or what she fears Tammy could say or could think. It says, it's one thing to be seen. It's an entirely different thing to be understood. Robin wasn't sure which scared her more. what they might think they see if they really looked at her, or that they might somehow be right. And it shows Tammy a look and says, huh? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Pathetic. Let us pray for your soul because you are truly damned. Now, I don't think any of that happened. I think this was all, in her head, the fear of, the rejection and being shunned. And Robin thinks maybe it's better she doesn't look, which is just so sad. That stinks. So now she's back out with the film crew, and she's talking to one kid about, holding it up so you can catch more light. He's like, maybe if we actually had lights. She goes over to touch the camera. Now, this looks like a camcorder at this point. I don't even know if you need film for this one, but okay. The camera just changed. That could be me. It could still be a film camera. She's like, the kid goes, nope, we're not moving it again. You're not going to get better placement than this. Trust me. The kid does not want to move the camera. She's like, okay, I'll trust you. She goes over to Tammy, who's looking at the script, and says, how's our star doing? She says, the ending is super dramatic, and that's cool, but it says here you want me to improvise the dialogue. Oh yeah, you were doing, you were so into doing this kind of role. I thought, maybe this would make you feel more creatively fulfilled. Tammy's like, it is pretty cool to be able to write something for this, but I still need to know what my character is so scared of. What's it all about in the end, Did you figure that out as you were finishing it up? And Robin's like, and she thinks, now or never, Robin. She's like, yes, I did. And the next panel is kind of a cool, it's a one shot of Robin kind of hiding in a shell. And it's sad and it's beautiful. And I'm going to read the text that goes with it. It says, it's about wanting to escape. She's almost curled up in the fetal position. It says it's about wanting to escape, about knowing that living in a small town, you'll always be wearing a mask. It's about the fear that no one will ever see the actual you, that you'll always be trapped here, never get to just live. It's like Herman Hesse said, if the chick is not able to break the shell of his egg, he will die without being born. Oh, that's an egg, like a shell, oh boy. And Herman Hesse, now my first thought was, isn't that the guy from WKRP in Cincinnati? But no, Herman Hesse is a German-Swiss poet and novelist, born 1877, died August 9th, 1962. So the anniversary of his death is just around the corner. I've never heard of him, but oh wow, he's been married 3 times. Whoa, he's a player and a poet. So it's a German poet, novelist, and player. And apparently he has some inspirational words for Robin. So she's like, does that make any sense? And Tammy's like, oh yeah, I can definitely go with all that. You can? Oh, it's exactly like now. I'm afraid that I'll never make it out of Hawkins and be the big star I was born to be. I think I know just how to do that last scene. That Herman guy sounds really smart. Is he your boyfriend? And Robin's like, no. Herman Hesse is decidedly not my boyfriend. He's actually... And then one of the kids yells, the fake blood's ready. Tammy's like, oop, that's my cue. She runs off. And Robin's like, he died before any of us were born. So now we jump over to the actual... It looks like the final scene being filmed. And action. And Tammy's covered in blood. She's like, wait, no, you don't understand. I'm a chick. I can't die. I can't die. Not yet. Not inside this shell. I'm sorry, but the fact that she says I'm a chick just made me crack up. It made me think Tammy's trying to be deep, but she says I'm a chick, and it doesn't quite come off that way. It's cute and funny. But as she says I'm inside the shell, Robin's like, she really gets me. She really listened to me. And you hear, please, no, like she's screaming as, the death, I guess, is happening on camera. And it says, there is much in Hawkins that lingers unseen. Beyond just the monsters and the nightmares, the more mundane parts of ourselves that stay in the shadows. The masks we're afraid to fully remove. But the light we crave is never quite as far away as we think. and sometimes it shines from the most unexpected sources. Now, this is the last page of the comic, and I read that first because I thought that all kind of flowed together quite well. But what we see is, it says 1 year later, Robin is handing an ice cream cone to a young woman saying, I hope you enjoy it, because she's working at Scoops Ahoy. The girl's like, yeah, thanks. And Robin seems to be maybe giving the girl the eye. The girl looks back like, what the hell are you looking at? And the looks like the manager of the store, the guy who runs the store, says, Miss Buckley, such an unusually excellent display of customer service. Oh, I guess because she was so nice to the girl. And then he says, I assume you'll maintain that level of professionalism while you show our new employee here the ropes. And who is he standing next to? In a Scoops Ahoy uniform, but Steve Harrington. And Robin looks and says, oh no. The end. And that is Tales from Hawkins number 3. This one had, what I liked about this one is there was no monster, no Demogorgon, no upside down, no death. It was purely a character study, purely just kind of a wider glimpse of Robin, her disdain for Steve, not really knowing him, and her infatuation with Tammy. And of course, we know that the infatuation for Tammy goes away. The disdain for Steve really goes away as they basically become the best of friends. And, I said it earlier, but Stranger Things really has done an incredible job of bringing in new characters. We have our base of characters we love. Then they bring in these new characters. You're like, oh, adding another person to the group. But they fit in seamlessly. And it's like they were part of the group the whole time. And now you can't imagine them, without them not being in the group. Robin was one of them. Eddie Munson, for our short time, was one of them. Billy, not so much. He was a little too mean for me. But Max, could you imagine Stranger Things without Max? But she wasn't there in the first season. It's crazy how good their casting is. And I hope, I don't hope, I assume, and I am pretty confident to say I think they'll do it again with Stranger Things 5. But we have a long ways to go before then. But here's the thing, my friends. While we're waiting for Stranger Things 5, I thought, isn't there something else I could do? Something else besides just talking about comics or talking about books. And believe me, I love reading and I love doing that. But what if there was something more I could do? And then I thought, Eureka, Michael, there is something more you can do.
Stranger danger, talking stranger things together forever. We're loving Stranger Things. It's Stranger Things forever. Rewatching season 4 from the start to the finish. It's Stranger Things forever. Every podcast we do will cover just 10 minutes. Stranger danger everywhere. I hope that you people still care. It's time for me to do it. Let's get to it. Come on, everyone.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Coming soon, Stranger Things Forever. Yes, that's right. There will be a recap, a rewatch of every Stranger Things 4 episode, but we're doing it a little different. We're doing it 10 minutes at a time. So every episode is just going to cover 10 minutes of Stranger Things. Now, maybe there'll be times where it's a little under 10 minutes, and maybe if there's a minute or two left at the end of the episode, there'll be a little over 10 minutes. But I'm going to try to stick to 10 minutes as much as I possibly can so that every episode of Stranger Things gets looked at under a microscope, and I can enjoy it and not gloss over any of it, and bring lots of Stranger Danger episodes to you, the Stranger friends. So I'm excited to get started on that. In fact, here's the thing. I'm so excited to get started on it. Guess what? The first episode's already been recorded. Oh, yeah. It's already been recorded. Look for it in the next couple days. It's coming out, and then new episodes are going to be dropping much more regularly. You're gonna be sick of me. There's going to be so much Stranger Danger. You're going to be sick of me. It's been a long time getting from there to here, but I'm excited to bring this show to you. And I did the first episode. I'm still not entirely sure how it's going to be, but it's coming out. I think the way I did this first one, I'm pretty happy with it. I think that's how I'm going to keep going, and I hope you come along for the ride. But again, keep keep sending in those voicemails. I can play them on the show. If you want to email, it's strangerdanger@fansnotexperts.com. I think that's the email address. As long as you email anything at fansnotexperts.com, it'll get to me. But on Twitter, StrangerDPod. On YouTube, Fans Not Experts, strangerdangerpodcast.com. Everything's at strangerdangerpodcast.com. And Geek Mentality is where all the social media stuff is. Pretty much find me there on everything. I think, what is it? Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Mastodon.social, Blue Sky, all that stuff. I'm always somewhere in social media world. But Stranger Things Forever, coming soon, very soon. So looking forward to that. Thank you guys for supporting the show and keeping it going, helping me keep it going, and just kind of keep finding it over and over. I do appreciate it so much. But that's it. I'm done. I will talk to you soon. But until then, remember, reading is fundamental, and you can't spell fundamental without F-U-N. Goodbye, stranger friends. Stay stranger.
Butterfly in the sky, I can go twice as high. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. I can go anywhere, friends to know and ways to grow, a reading rainbow. I can be anything. Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
Fans Not Experts.